Hey everyone, it's Stephanie here, and I'm excited to be back with another video for MFT Camp Create Session 2. This is a fun week-long event where we are creating and sharing projects all week long, and we definitely encourage you to take part. We will have a link up in the blog post for every single video this week so that you can create a project based on the challenge and link it up in the blog post for a chance to win some really great prizes. So for today's craft activity, we are going to get out our pencil crayons and we're going to be doing some coloring. So I'm going to be stamping onto a piece of Kraft cardstock using black licorice dye ink, and I'm just using my MFT tool because I'm going to double stamp. Kraft cardstock is a little bit more textured and kind of soaks up the ink a little bit more than standard white cardstock, so I like to double stamp if at all possible. It just really helps the image to stand out. And really makes the lines of the stamping really thick and dark. So I always like to do a two-step stamping, so the MFT works perfectly for this technique. And I'm just kind of taking flowers and leaf images from the Funky Flower stamp set, and I'm kind of positioning them onto this panel. I'm keeping everything kind of down at the bottom on the right-hand corner, and I'm just kind of creating a little bit of a design there that's going to fill up the very corner of the card, but kind of leave the top left area open. So as I go along here, I kind of run out of room in my mini MFT, so I ended up having to switch over to my larger MFT so I could do some stamping off of the cardstock panel. And I'm just repeating the process with the stamps and the leaf dies until I get the cardstock panel fully covered with the stamping that I want to do. And now as I got to the bottom area, I had to move the cardstock piece up to the top corner of my MFT, and that just allowed me to continue to kind of stamp off the edge and fill in the bottom area where there was some holes that needed some stamping. And once I had the flowers and the large leaf set, I realized that I couldn't really fit everything else in there, so I switched over to some of the smaller leaves, and I used that to fill in some of the space that was still kind of left open. And I continued to stamp until I fully had the panel filled up with as much of the stamping as I wanted. Now feel free to completely cover the whole panel if you want to add the design to the entire piece and create a background. But for this one, I wanted to just kind of keep all the stamping concentrated at the bottom, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment kind of in that little opening where the leaves and the flowers kind of come together. So now that I have all the stamping done, I'm going to go ahead and start to color the image. Now I'm using some Spectrum Noir pencil crayons here. I also like to use Prismacolor pencil crayons. At the time I was coloring this, I think my son had stolen my pencil crayons and he had them in his room, and he was creating some great art, so I didn't want to interrupt his creative process, so I just went ahead and used my Spectrum Noir. So I'm just going ahead and coloring in the images. So I'm going to speed through this part. I'm going to kind of speed it up as I get going here. And you're just going to kind of see the process of me coloring in all of these images. Now when I use pencil crayons on Kraft, I like to have a really firm hand. I like to press down really hard and make sure that pencil crayon is really dark in the areas. I apologize for the lighting. It doesn't really show as well the intensity and the vibrancy of the color on the camera as well as it does in real life. So just imagine that these are even brighter and darker in real life than what's kind of picking up on the camera here. So I just continued to go around. I did some purplish pink color on the back petals of the largest flower, and now I'm taking a really bright limey green color and doing all the centers of the leaves and the centers of the flowers. And then I took a darker green color, and now I'm going around the rest of the leaves to kind of add a darker color and some contrast to those leaf images. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of that darker green color to the center areas of the flowers as well, just to kind of fill those in and make them matched with the leaf images. Once I finished coloring all the leaves, I went back and did the rest of the flower images. So I finished the largest flower with another shade of purple, and then I did the smaller two flowers, the one in the corner and the one on the left-hand side, with some different shades of blue pencil. I did a really bright light blue on the top petals of both of the flowers, and then I used a medium blue and then a darker blue on the bottom petals. And then I finished off the other two smaller flowers with the same purple and pinks that I used on the largest one. And then once I had all that finished, I decided to add some detail with a white pencil crayon. Having a white pencil crayon in your craft stash is a must in my opinion. It can be used for so many things. It's just a great tool. It's very inexpensive, and it can just add so much detail to a design that just kind of makes everything pop off of the card. So without those little white dots, I felt like the flowers were fine as is, but once I added those white dots, I just feel like the whole entire image completely pops off of that cardstock panel now. So once I had the white done, I went ahead and did the sentiment. I used my MISTI to do this because I didn't want to mess anything up. We had already stamped and colored. We were pretty far on this card, so I didn't want to risk messing it up at all. So I used my MISTI to stamp that on, and then that allowed me to do the double stamping once again to make sure that my sentiment was really dark and bold. And then I took the whole panel and ran it through my die cut machine with a stitched rectangle die to give it a nice finished edge before adhering it to a white cardstock panel. And then to finish off the card, I added some clear sequins because when don't I? And I filled those sequins with some silver stickles to finish them off. And that's going to complete the card today and bring us to today's creative challenge. So today we want you to simply color. It doesn't have to be a full card. It doesn't have to be pencil crayons. It doesn't have to even be on Kraft. We just want you to take a coloring medium of your choice and color something in. Link it up on the blog post, which is in the description box down below. And if you participate in all 5 days this week and create a craft for every day, you will be eligible for a $150 gift card to MFT Stamps. And if you simply leave a comment on this video, you will also be eligible for a $15 gift card to MFT Stamps. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I can't wait to see what you all color, and we will see you tomorrow for more camp fun.